So how did you do during World Carnivore Month? What's shaking, bacon? So you survived World Carnivore Month. Good for you. Now, did you make it through unscathed? Did you make it through with very little cheats or treats? If you did, good for you. It's a difficult thing for people to accomplish. It really is. Going through those withdrawals from carbs and sugar is not easy, and it can zap the strength right out of you. It makes you really tired, you get headaches. It's almost like going through caffeine withdrawal. And you know, it can just make you feel a general malaise and really rough for the first few days, maybe even up to a week or two, depending on how bad you had it. It's not uncommon people get to the point where they get maybe 2 weeks in before they start to finally feel the relief. And the first week or two, there's also the side effects of diarrhea for most people. So what happens is, you know, you have all these negative things happening while your body's transitioning, and it's tough to pay attention to the things that are making you feel better, like your joints. Typically within a few days, your joints start to feel better. Even if you didn't realize they bothered you before, you notice after about 4 or 5 days, you're just more loose. You just have more energy. Your energy gets way better after the first few days. That's really nice to go through. It's more difficult if you happen to treat yourself or cheat a few times through the month, because it can compromise those sugar withdrawals. So if you had some alcohol, or maybe you gave in on a little bit of dessert here or there, or you just had some carbohydrates, it drags out the process of the withdrawals. So it resets. And we want to try and stay away from that. But, you know, we're all human, and some people are going to have some difficult times. Personally, what I went through, I got sick this month. I almost never get sick. But regardless, it happened. It wasn't too bad for the most part. I had headache, tension headache. It was coming from the neck. My energy was really off. I was taking a lot of naps. Fortunately, because I'm forced to not work during these lockdowns, that I had lots of time to nap. So yeah, that was a positive, I guess. It really affected my exercise. So I didn't deviate at all with carnivore. I allowed myself to go from the lion diet, the challenge I finished from September all the way through till the end of December, till I got to January and I did a regular carnivore diet. I limited myself to 2 pounds of meat a day. I think that really screwed up my sleep. And along with that, compromised my immune system. And I think that's what made me prone to getting sick. So I didn't go through any withdrawals because I opened my diet up to more foods instead of just having red meat. So I had a lot of other foods in there. I had some dairy, I had some cheese. I didn't have any cream with any tea, surprisingly, but I think I only had tea once or twice through the month. And it was a chamomile tea just to help me sleep at night. I didn't deviate at all from my way of eating. I feel like I'm past the point with cravings. It's not a thing for me. I'd rather not eat if I'm hungry than give in to a craving, because I don't really get the cravings at all anymore. And you want to get to that point, and it's easier to get to that point if you don't keep having these little treats, or if you knock out the artificial sweeteners in your diet. It can be really tough if you have these artificial sweeteners in your diet. So when you get to the point where you can knock all that out, it's a tougher road, but boy, you get to experience all the benefits of what it's like to be on a completely carnivorous diet. Now, where I did hit a wall was with my exercises. I gave myself a squat challenge this month, so it was a lot easier than the exercising I've been doing, but when I cut my calories down and I was only having 2 pounds of meat a day, I was really exhausted. It made me really tired, and part of that was also being sick, but it made me really tired doing this squat challenge, because I was adding squats in a compounding effect every day to my month. So by the end of the month, I had like a few hundred squats to do, and I just couldn't do them. I just couldn't do them. It was either 2 pounds of meat or exercising. I just couldn't do both. So a couple times I had more food because I was just so drained, and other times I just had to spread my squats out throughout the day because I couldn't sit and do them all in like a 15, 20, or 25-minute window. It was too exhausting. I was just spent. I had no stamina. This month is going to be nice because I'm back to doing a lion diet, and there's lots of things I love about doing the lion diet. And the one thing I'm doing this month is I'm having, of course, as much meat as I want. Though I'll probably stick to about 3 or 4 pounds of meat a day on average. I'm going to be having as much as I want because I'm also cutting out salt this month. And so I want to get more in tune with my hunger signals. And salt makes my ground beef and my steaks more palatable. And I tend to put quite a bit of salt in my meat, to tell you the truth. So to cut it out is going to be quite the experiment. I've never done something like this. The reason why I'm doing the lion diet this month with no salt is there's a lot of sodium in meat. I shouldn't say there's a lot of sodium in meat. There's enough sodium in meat that if I'm having 4 pounds of meat a day, I'm getting my sodium intake for the day. So I'm not too concerned about knocking salt out because I'm still getting it in my food. Now, if I was having a regular carnivore diet, if I was having chicken in there, it's not as nutrients dense. So it would really be a more uphill battle cutting salt out of my diet. But I want to give it a shot for at least 1 month and see how I feel. I'm expecting to de-bloat a little bit. I'm expecting to get some leg cramps, and I've noticed my hamstrings just flirting with some cramping the last couple days. But overall, it hasn't been too bad yet. This is being recorded on February 2nd. So tomorrow, I'm going to start exercising. I've had 2 days now where I've been eating more food. So I feel good going back to the gym tomorrow. So far, my sleep has been really good. I'm really curious to see in what ways cutting out salt helps me and what ways cutting out salt might aggravate my day-to-day living. Maybe I'm going to run out of energy. Maybe I'm going to get horrible leg cramps. Maybe it's just going to cause more problems than it's worth and I might have to abandon it. So though I have a goal of having no salt for the month, I'm not going to easily abandon it, but I'm not married to it. I wouldn't want to make myself feel like crap for a month like I did last month. And I really only did that for about the last 3 weeks of January, because for the first week of January, I was waiting to do my bod pod and DEXA scan tests. So I didn't really start on a regular carnivore diet till a week into January. And I was still wiped out from the second, third, and fourth week all month long from just going down to 2 pounds of meat. It's going to be nice having more calories in a day. To be honest, 2 pounds of meat a day is not enough for me. And quite frankly, it's way more expensive to do a regular carnivore diet than it is a lion diet because I get my meat in bulk. It's really easy. It's really affordable. If I have 3 pounds of ground beef a day, that's only $9 a day. So I'll get my ground beef at the grocery store. Now I do get my ground beef when I order a half cow. And just a few days ago, I ordered a half cow. So I'm expecting that to be ready in a couple of weeks. And that's they raised the price to $4.80 a pound. And I normally get a bigger cow every time I order one because I want something that's going to have more marbling in it. And typically when you order one of the larger cows, there's more marbling, and it was just a fatter cow. Usually it costs me, by the end of it, about $2,100. So I'm expecting that to go up a couple $100. But that being said, that's going to be months worth of food. Now, that's not so bad, especially when I'm buying ground beef at the grocery store, because when I get my half cow, I'm getting all my ground beef in burgers. So I'm not getting any of it just in like 1 or 2 pound packs of ground beef. I'm getting it all, I think it's 6-ounce burgers. And I'll save my day-to-day ground beef for something I can cook on the stove every day or two. So whenever I get tired of that, I just have more steaks. It's really easy. And it's way more affordable, dollar for dollar. Because every time I get wings, say I get 4 pounds of wings, if I buy wings, the cheapest good quality wings I can find right now where I live is $5 a pound. So if I get 5 pounds of wings, after I trim it up, it's just over 4 pounds, and I'll bake them in the oven. And it's really nice, but that's 4 pounds. That cost me $5 initially, so that's a $25 meal. Well, I can have ground beef and be more satisfied with only $9 a day, maybe $12 a day. So it's more expensive when I do a regular carnivore diet because I also get cheese in my diet. I also get Italian cold cuts in my diet, and I'll have those every now and then. And, usually you're paying about $10 or $12 a pound for cold cuts. You go and get a pound of mortadella or capicolo or something like that at the grocery store. That's expensive cuts, and it's not like it's the best quality meat out there. Like, I know it's not the healthiest meat, but it tastes good, and I want to enjoy what I'm doing. So going back on the Lion diet is actually something I really enjoy because it's a simple way of eating. It's an affordable way of eating. It's so much cheaper. I'm not as tempted to go out for wings. You know, if I go out and get wings at a restaurant, oh, I have to triple that price for wings. Instead of $25, it's $75. So that gets really expensive, especially if I'm leaving a tip or anything like that, right? So these are all things I've paid attention to being carnivore for a year. And I know how to tweak being carnivore to help manage whatever challenge I'm giving myself for the month. So if I know I want to put on muscle for a month or two, I can increase my calories for the day and have 3, 4, 5, or 6 pounds of meat in a day, or maybe more. If I want to maybe cut down for a month, I know 3 pounds is a sort of golden number for me, and I'll be able to cut a little bit faster than I would at 6 pounds of meat a day. So when people treat themselves or cheat on their first month doing carnivore, you know, it's easy to just get down on yourself, but look at how good you did. Look at how well you did after going a whole month without barely any or any junk food at all, and how good you feel by the end of it. Even though you might have cheated a couple times, you're probably better off by the end of it. You're really starting to feel all the benefits. And now that you've done it for a full month, you're gonna go into the next time you try it, whether you're following up with February or the next month in March, or you're just gonna do it 1 month throughout the year. What you're doing is you already have 1 month under your belt. So now you know how to better set yourself up for success the next time you do it. Or if you're just continuing through February, you have a better idea of what things to do to make sure you don't put yourself in awkward positions. I find it takes me 2 to 3 months to get to the point where I just don't have any cravings anymore. 2 to 3 months, usually closer to 3 months, and I'm sort of bulletproof. So anyway, leave some comments in this video. Let me know how you did during World Carnivore Month. Are there certain things you're going to make sure you don't do next time? Or are there certain things you're going to make sure to do more of next time? How did it adjust to your schedule? Did you find it was easier to do? Did you find ways by the end of the month to streamline the process of cooking? Let me know. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.